Jake Morrison stood by the big window of the spaceship. He looked down at the meeting room where strange visitors were coming inside. These visitors were not human. They came from another world far away in space. The aliens were tall and thin. Their skin looked like clear glass or crystal. When they moved, it was like watching water flow. Their leader was named Kethfer. He had sent messages to the humans saying he wanted to learn about Earth. Jake was a soldier on the spaceship called Horizon's Edge. But before he became a soldier, he studied animals on Earth. He knew a lot about creatures that lived in forests, oceans, and mountains. The ship's captain picked him to talk with the aliens because of this knowledge. Dr. Lisa Hayes walked over to stand next to Jake. She was a smart woman who studied alien life forms. She had been reading the messages from the visitors. They really want to know about our animals, Lisa said to Jake. Their world is very different from ours. They don't have many different kinds of creatures. Jake nodded. He watched as more aliens came into the room. There were about 20 of them. They all had the same crystal-like skin, but some were taller than others. Some had different colors in their crystal bodies: blue, green, and purple. Lights moved under their skin. I've never seen anything like them, Jake said quietly. The aliens sat down at a long table. The humans sat on the other side. Captain Roy Davis was there to speak for all humans. He was a good captain who had met aliens before. "Welcome to our ship," Captain Davis said. "We are happy to meet you." Kethfer stood up. When he spoke, his voice sounded like music. It was beautiful but strange. "Thank you for meeting with us. We have traveled very far to see you. What would you like to know about our world?" the captain asked. Kethfer looked at the other aliens. They all made soft sounds to each other. It was their way of talking. Then he looked back at the humans. "We want to know about your hunters," he said. "In your messages, you wrote about creatures that hunt and eat other creatures. We do not understand this." The captain looked confused. "What do you mean? Don't you have animals that hunt on your world?" Another alien stood up. This one was called Velther. He was the science leader of their group. "On our world, big creatures eat plants. Small creatures eat tiny things in the water. Nothing hunts anything else." Jake found this hard to believe. "Nothing hunts at all?" "No," Velther said. "We read about creatures you call apex predators in your information files. This is very strange to us. What does this mean?" Captain Davis looked at Jake. "Lieutenant Morrison knows a lot about Earth's animals. He can answer your questions." Jake felt nervous. He had never talked to aliens before, but he loved talking about animals. "Well," he began, "apex predators are animals that hunt other animals for food. They are usually the strongest hunters in their area." The aliens all leaned forward. Their crystal bodies started glowing brighter. Jake realized this meant they were very interested. "Can you tell us about these apex predators?" Kethfer asked. Jake smiled. This was going to be fun. "Sure, let me show you some pictures." He turned on the big screen in the room. A picture of a lion appeared. The aliens made surprised sounds when they saw it. "This is a lion," Jake said. "Lions live in Africa. They hunt other animals like zebras and buffalo. They have strong teeth and claws." The aliens watched the screen with wide eyes. Jake could see they were amazed. "Lions live in groups called prides," Jake continued. "They work together to hunt. The female lions do most of the hunting. The male lions protect the group." He showed them more pictures. There were tigers, bears, and wolves. Each time, the aliens became more excited. Their crystal bodies changed colors rapidly. "These creatures kill other animals?" Velther asked. "Yes, for food," Jake said. "They need to eat meat to survive. But what stops them from killing everything?" Another alien asked. Jake thought about this. Well, they only kill what they need to eat. And there are not very many of them compared to the animals they hunt. Are these the most dangerous creatures on your world? Kethver asked. Jake laughed. Actually, no. Some of the most dangerous creatures are much smaller. The aliens looked confused. Smaller creatures are more dangerous than these big hunters? Sometimes. Yes, Jake said. There are tiny creatures that can kill with poison. There are insects that can make people very sick. And there are some surprising hunters that most people don't expect. Lisa stepped forward. What Lieutenant Morrison is saying. Is that on Earth? Size doesn't always matter. Small creatures can be just as dangerous as big ones. The aliens talked to each other again in their musical language. They seemed very excited about this idea. This is very different from our world, Kethver said. On our planet, big creatures are always stronger than small ones. Big creatures protect small ones. We have never heard of small creatures being dangerous. Jake was getting more interested in their conversation. What kinds of animals do you have on your world? We have large, gentle creatures that eat the crystal formations, Velther explained. We have small creatures that make beautiful sounds. We have creatures that swim in our water pools. But none of them hurt each other. That sounds peaceful, Lisa said. It is, Kethvar agreed. But now we wonder if our world is too simple. Your world sounds much more ... exciting. Jake grinned. He hadn't even gotten to the really interesting parts yet. Oh, we're just getting started. Wait until you hear about some of the really surprising hunters on Earth. The aliens all moved closer to the table. They were ready to learn more about Earth's amazing and dangerous creatures. Jake continued showing pictures to the aliens. He showed them sharks swimming in the ocean. The aliens watched as the big fish caught smaller fish with their sharp teeth. Sharks are perfect hunters in the water, Jake explained. They have been around for millions of years. They can smell blood from very far away. The aliens made soft sounds of amazement. Their crystal bodies were glowing bright blue now. And this is a grizzly bear, Jake said, showing a new picture. Bears are very strong. They can weigh as much as a small car. They have claws as long as your fingers. Velther raised his hand. These bears hunt other animals? Yes, but they also eat plants, fish, and berries, Jake said. They are what we call omnivores. They eat both meat and plants. Very smart, Kethver said. They have many food choices. Jake showed them eagles, flying high in the sky. He explained how they could see small animals from far away and catch them with their sharp claws. Eagles have amazing eyesight, Jake said. They can see 8 times better than humans. They can spot a rabbit from 2 miles away. The aliens were very impressed. They talked to each other in their musical language for a few minutes. All of these creatures are very big and strong, Velther observed. They must be the kings of your world, Jake smiled. That's what most people think. But here's where it gets interesting. Even these powerful hunters have things they're afraid. Oaf, afraid? Kethver asked. What can these mighty creatures fear? Well, lions are afraid of elephants. Elephants are much bigger and stronger. Sharks are afraid of dolphins because dolphins are smarter and work together. Bears are afraid of humans because humans have weapons. The aliens listened carefully. This was a new idea for them. But surely, said another alien named Zethra, there must be some creatures that fear nothing? Jake thought about this. Even the biggest and strongest animals on Earth have natural enemies. Take snakes, for example. He put up a picture of a large python. The snake was thick and long, coiled around a tree branch. This is a python, Jake said. Some pythons can grow to be 30 feet long. They can eat animals as big as deer. They wrap around their prey and squeeze until the animal can't breathe. The aliens stared at the picture. The snake looked very dangerous to them. Snakes are also venomous, Jake continued, showing pictures of cobras and rattlesnakes. Their bite can kill large animals in minutes. Many humans are very afraid of snakes. These snakes must be apex predators, Kethver said. Many of them are, Jake agreed. They are perfect hunters. They can move very quietly. They can sense heat from other animals. Some can see in the dark. They are very deadly. Lisa joined the conversation. Snakes have been successful hunters for millions of years. They live on every continent except Antarctica. The aliens were fascinated. They could see that snakes were very good at hunting. So these snakes are feared by all other creatures? Velther asked. Jake grinned. He had been waiting for this question. Actually, no. Snakes have many enemies too. What could possibly hunt such dangerous creatures? Zethra asked. Many things, Jake said. Birds like hawks and eagles catch snakes. Some mammals like badgers and mongooses hunt snakes. Even some other snakes eat snakes. The aliens found this very interesting. They had not expected that dangerous hunters could also be hunted. But the most surprising snake hunters might shock you, Jake said. Please tell us, Kethver said. All the aliens were listening very carefully now. Jake paused for effect. He wanted to make sure they were ready for what he was about to tell them. Before I tell you, let me ask you something. What do you think of when I say the word frog? The aliens looked confused. They talked to each other for a moment. We have similar creatures on our world, Velther said. They are small, harmless creatures that sit on our crystal formations. They make pleasant sounds. We barely notice them. That's what most people think about frogs, Jake said. Small, harmless, cute little creatures that just sit around and make noise. Yes, exactly, Kethver agreed. Jake's grin got bigger. Well, you're about to learn something that will change how you think about small creatures forever. The aliens moved closer to the table. They could tell that Jake was about to tell them something important. You see, frogs are actually some of the most effective snake hunters on Earth. Jake said. The aliens looked confused. Frogs hunt snakes? Velther asked. Not just hunt them, Jake said. They eat them, whole. The room became very quiet. The aliens stared at Jake, like they couldn't believe what they heard. You mean these small, harmless creatures eat the dangerous snakes? Zethra asked slowly. That's right, Jake said. Bullfrogs, for example, will eat snakes that are sometimes longer than the frog itself. The aliens' crystal bodies began to dim. They looked like they were in shock. But how is this possible? Kethver asked. The snakes are predators. They have poison. They have sharp teeth. Frogs have very strong jaws, Jake explained. And they're very fast. When a snake comes near, the frog can grab it and swallow it before the snake can fight back. The aliens were silent for a long time. Jake could see they were trying to understand this idea. So a creature that seems weak and harmless can defeat a creature that seems strong and dangerous? Velther asked. Exactly, Jake said. And this is just the beginning. There are many examples of this on Earth. The aliens looked at each other. Their crystal bodies were changing colors rapidly. Jake realized they were very excited, but also very surprised. Show us, Kethver said quietly. Show us these frogs eating snakes. Jake nodded and started looking for a video to show them. He had a feeling their reaction was going to be very interesting. Jake found a video file in the ship's computer. He put it on the big screen for everyone to see. The aliens watched as a large bullfrog sat by a small pond. This is a bullfrog, Jake said. They live near water in many parts of Earth. Watch what happens when a snake comes near. In the video, a long, thin snake moved through the grass toward the water. The snake was looking for something to drink. It had no idea that danger was waiting. The bullfrog saw the snake coming. It sat very still, like a rock. The snake came closer and closer. Then, in one quick move, the frog jumped forward. Its mouth opened wide and it grabbed the snake behind the head. The snake tried to fight back, but it was too late. The aliens watched in complete silence as the frog began to swallow the snake. The snake was much longer than the frog, but the frog just kept eating. Slowly, the entire snake disappeared into the frog's mouth. When the video ended, the room was completely quiet. The aliens had not moved at all. Their crystal bodies had gone completely clear, like glass. Jake waited for them to say something. After a few minutes, he became worried. "Are you okay?" he asked. No one answered. The aliens just stared at the blank screen. Dr. Lisa Hayes came over to check on them. "Keffer, can you hear us?" Finally, Keffer spoke in a very quiet voice. "Did we really see what we think we saw?" "Yes," Jake said. "A frog eating a snake." "But this cannot be real," Velther said. His voice was shaking. "Small creatures cannot eat large creatures. This goes against everything we know about nature." "On Earth, it happens all the time," Jake said. "Size doesn't always matter. Sometimes the small guy wins." Zethra finally moved. She turned to look at Jake. "Show us again," she said. Jake played the video again. This time he slowed it down so they could see every detail. The aliens watched as the frog's jaw opened wide. They saw how fast the frog moved. They saw the snake disappear completely. "How is the frog's mouth so big?" Keffer asked. "Frogs can open their mouths very wide," Jake explained. "Their jaws are very strong. They can eat things that seem too big for them." "But the snake has poison," Velther said. "Why doesn't it?" "Hurt the frog? Not all snakes have poison," Jake said. "And frogs are very fast. They grab the snake before it can bite them. Also, some frogs are not hurt by snake poison." The aliens looked at each other. They were still in shock. "This changes everything," Zethra said quietly. "What do you mean?" Lisa asked. "On our world, we believe that big creatures always win against small creatures," Kethvar explained. "Big creatures protect small creatures. It is the natural order. What you show us that this order can be broken." "It's not broken," Jake said. "It's just different. On Earth, every creature has a way to survive. Small creatures have to be smart and fast to survive. Big creatures have to be strong. It creates balance." "Balance?" Velther asked. "Yes," Jake said. "If big creatures always won, they would eat all the small creatures. Then there would be no food left for the big creatures. But if small creatures can sometimes beat big creatures, then no one group becomes too powerful." The aliens thought about this for a long time. "You said this was just the beginning," Keffer said. "Are there more examples?" Jake nodded. "Many more. Do you want to see them?" The aliens looked scared, but they were also very curious. "Yes," Velther said. "Show. Use more." Jake put up a new video. This one showed a small, furry animal with black and white stripes. "This is a honey badger," Jake said. "They are small, but they are very brave. They will fight animals much bigger than themselves." In the video, the honey badger was fighting a cobra. The cobra was much longer than the badger, and it had deadly poison, but the badger was not afraid. It grabbed the snake and bit it until the snake stopped moving. "The badger won," Zethra said in amazement. "Honey badgers have very tough skin," Jake explained. "Snake bites don't hurt them much. They are also very strong for their size." Jake showed them more videos. There was a tiny shrew that had to eat every few hours or it would die. The shrew was smaller than a mouse, but it could kill and eat animals twice its size. "This shrew has to eat every 2 hours," Jake said. It has the fastest metabolism on Earth. It is always hunting. Then he showed them army ants. Millions of tiny ants working together to kill animals thousands of times bigger than themselves. These ants can kill a horse, Jake said. They work as a team. No single ant is strong, but millions of them together are very dangerous. The aliens watched every video with growing amazement. Their crystal bodies were changing colors rapidly. Red, blue, green, and purple lights flashed under their skin. Your world is full of surprises, Kethver said. Small creatures that defeat big ones. Weak creatures that are actually strong. How do you humans survive in such a place? Jake smiled. We learn to be smart. We learn to use tools. We learn to work together, just like the ants. But humans are not the biggest or strongest creatures on your world, Velther observed. No, Jake agreed, but we are the smartest. We learn to adapt. We learn to use our brains instead of our muscles. And now you travel among the stars, Zethra said. That's right, Jake said. We learned that being small doesn't mean being weak. We learned that being different can be an advantage. The aliens were quiet for a long time. They were thinking about everything they had learned. We need to reconsider everything we know about nature, Kethver finally said. Your world has taught us that we have been thinking too simply. There's still more to learn, Jake said. Are you ready for it? The aliens looked at each other. They were still shocked, but they were also very excited to learn more. Yes, they said together. Show us more of your amazing world. The aliens were ready to learn more, but Jake could see they were still confused about what they had seen. He decided to explain things slowly and carefully. Let me show you something that will help you understand, Jake said. He put up a picture of a food web on the screen. It showed how all the animals on Earth were connected. This is how life works on our planet, Jake explained. Everything is connected. Big animals eat smaller animals. But sometimes small animals eat big animals too. And everything depends on everything else. The aliens studied the picture. They could see lines connecting all the different creatures. It looks very complicated, Velther said. It is, Jake agreed. But that's what makes it work. If one animal disappears, it affects all the others. Dr. Lisa Hayes joined the conversation. What Jake is showing you is why humans became so good at surviving. We had to learn to adapt to a world where anything could happen. Adapt? Kethver asked. Change to survive, Lisa explained. On Earth, creatures that can't change usually die. Creatures that can change and learn new things survive and have babies. Jake put up a new video. This one showed a small octopus hiding in a shell. This is an octopus, Jake said. They are very smart. Watch what it does. In the video, a large fish came swimming toward the octopus. The octopus quickly changed its color to match the rocks around it. The fish swam right past without seeing the octopus. It became invisible, Zethra said in amazement. That's one way to survive, Jake said. If you can't fight something bigger than you, you can hide from it. Then he showed them a video of a pufferfish. When a shark came near, the small fish puffed up into a spiky ball. The shark tried to eat it, but couldn't. The pufferfish made itself too difficult to eat, Jake explained. Sometimes the best defense is to make yourself hard to swallow. The aliens were fascinated. They had never seen anything like this on their world. All these creatures have different ways to survive, Kethver observed. Exactly, Jake said. And humans learned from all of them. We learned to hide when we needed to. We learned to work together like ants. We learned to use tools like some birds do. We learned to adapt like the octopus. Jake showed them a video of early humans making fire and using spears to hunt mammoth. The humans were much smaller than the huge, hairy elephants, but they worked together and used their brains. Humans were not the biggest or strongest, Jake said. But we were smart. We learned to make tools. We learned to plan. We learned to work as a team. So you became apex predators through intelligence, Velther said. Yes, Jake said. And we learned something important. The most dangerous creatures are not always the biggest ones. Sometimes the most dangerous creature is the one that can think and plan and adapt. The aliens talked among themselves in their musical language. They seemed very excited about these ideas. We are beginning to understand, Kethver said. Your world taught your species that survival comes from being flexible and smart, not just big and strong. That's right, Jake said. And that's why we've been successful in space. We're used to dealing with new and unexpected situations. Lisa added, when we met our first alien species, we weren't afraid. We were curious. We wanted to learn about them, just like we learned about all the creatures on Earth. But we were afraid when we first heard about humans, Sethra admitted. We heard that you were warriors and hunters. We thought you would be dangerous. We can be dangerous, Jake said honestly, but we're also explorers and learners. We prefer to make friends rather than enemies. Why? Kethver asked. Because we learned on Earth that cooperation works better than fighting, Jake explained. The creatures that work together usually do better than the ones that fight alone. Jake showed them a video of wolves hunting together. The wolves worked as a team to catch a deer that was much faster than any single wolf. Wolves are stronger together than apart, Jake said. Humans learned this lesson too. We are stronger when we work together. Then he showed them a video of dolphins working together to catch fish. The dolphins made a circle around a school of fish, trapping them. Dolphins are very smart, Jake said. They have language, they use tools, and they work together. In many ways, they are like humans. Are dolphins dangerous to humans? Velther asked. They can be, Jake said. But usually, they are friendly. They have even saved humans from sharks sometimes. The aliens found this very interesting. So even dangerous creatures can be helpful? Yes, Jake said. That's another lesson from Earth. Just because something is dangerous doesn't mean it's evil. It just means you need to understand it and respect it. Jake showed them one more video. This one showed a human swimming with dolphins. The human was playing with the dolphins, and they seemed to be having fun together. This is what we hope for with all the species we meet in space, Jake said. We want to learn from each other and help each other. The aliens were quiet for a long time. They seemed to be thinking about everything they had learned. Your world is very different from ours, Kethvar finally said. But maybe that is good. Maybe we can learn from each other. We would like that, Jake said. What can you teach us about your world? We can teach you about peace and cooperation, Velther said. On our world, all creatures live in harmony. There is no violence or hunting. That sounds wonderful, Lisa said. But how do you handle problems? How do you adapt to changes? We don't have many changes on our world, Zethra said. Everything stays the same for thousands of years. But what if something new happens? Jake asked. What if there's a disaster or a new threat? The aliens looked at each other. They seemed worried about this question. We don't know, Kethvar admitted. We have never had to deal with big changes. Maybe that is why we need to learn from you. And we need to learn from you, Jake said. Maybe together we can find a way to have both peace and the ability to handle change. Yes, Kethvar said. We would like to learn more about adaptation and flexibility from your species. And we would like to learn about peace and harmony from yours, Jake said. The aliens' crystal bodies began to glow with warm, happy colors. They seemed excited about the possibility of learning from humans. This has been a very surprising day, Velther said. We came here thinking we would learn about your predators. Instead, we learned about your entire way of thinking. Sometimes The most important lessons come from the most unexpected places, Jake said. Just like learning that a small frog can eat a big snake. The aliens made sounds that Jake was beginning to recognize as laughter. They were starting to understand that surprises could be good things. The meeting had been going on for many hours. The aliens had learned so much about Earth that their crystal bodies were glowing brighter than ever before. They seemed very excited about all the new ideas. "We have one more question," Cathver said. "If small creatures can defeat big creatures on your world, and if intelligence is more important than strength, then what makes humans special?" Jake thought about this question. It was a good one. "I think what makes humans special is that we learned from everyone," he said. "We watched the frogs and learned that size doesn't matter. We watched the wolves and learned to work together. We watched the octopus and learned to adapt. We took the best ideas from all the creatures on Earth. And then you used those ideas to reach the stars," Velther said. "Yes," Jake said. "We learned that the best way to survive is to keep learning." Dr. Lisa Hayes smiled. "That's why we're here talking with you. We want to keep learning from new species we meet." "We want to learn from you too," Zethra said. "Your world has taught us that we need to think differently about nature and survival." Captain Davis, who had been listening quietly, finally spoke up. "I think this has been one of the most successful first contact meetings we've ever had. We've all learned something important today." "Yes," Kethver agreed. "We came here afraid that humans might be dangerous because you are hunters. Now we understand that being a hunter doesn't make you bad. It just means you know how to survive. And we learned that peaceful worlds can be beautiful too," Jake said. "Maybe we can find a way to combine the best of both our worlds." The aliens talked among themselves in their musical language. They seemed to be making a decision about something. "We have decided," Kethvar announced. "We want to invite some humans to visit our world. We want to show you our peaceful way of life. And we want some of our people to stay here and learn more about your world," Velther added. "That sounds like a wonderful idea," Captain Davis said. "We would be honored to visit your world. But first," Zethra said, "we want to see more of these amazing creatures from Earth. Do you have more videos?" Jake grinned. "I have thousands of videos. We could watch them for weeks." "What would you like to see next?" Lisa asked. "Show us more." "Creatures that are not what they seem," Kethver said. "Show us more surprises." Jake put up a new video. This one showed a tiny ant carrying a leaf that was 50 times bigger than itself. "This is a leaf cutter ant," Jake said. "It's one of the strongest creatures on Earth for its size. It can carry 50 times its own weight." The aliens watched in amazement as the tiny ant walked across the screen carrying the huge leaf. "If humans could do that," Velther said, "you could carry cars over your heads." "That's right," Jake laughed. "Nature is full of amazing abilities. We're still learning from it." He showed them a video of a hummingbird. The tiny bird was hovering in front of a flower, its wings beating so fast they couldn't be seen. "This bird can fly backwards," Jake said. "It can hover in one place like a helicopter. Its heart beats over 1,000 times per minute. So fast," Zethra said. "How does it survive?" "It has to eat nectar from flowers all day long," Jake explained. "It's always moving, always eating. It's like a tiny flying machine." Then he showed them a video of a chameleon catching a fly with its tongue. The tongue shot out faster than the eye could follow. "The chameleon's tongue is longer than its whole body," Jake said. "It can catch insects from very far away." "Every creature has its own special ability," Kethver observed. "Exactly," Jake said. "And humans learn to develop special abilities too. We learn to make tools, to build machines, to travel through space. We became the species that could adapt to any environment, even space," Velther said. Even space, Jake agreed, because we learned that being adaptable is the most important survival skill of all. The aliens were quiet for a moment, thinking about everything they had learned. We understand now why you were successful in space, Kethver said. You come from a world where you had to be ready for anything, where a small frog could eat a big snake, where tiny ants could be stronger than elephants, where intelligence was more important than size. And that prepared you for meeting us, Zethra added. You are not afraid of something new and different. That's right, Jake said. We learned that different can be good. Different can be interesting. Different can be helpful. We learned that too today, Elther said. Before today, we thought different meant dangerous. Now we know that different can mean wonderful. Captain Davis stood up. I think this has been a very successful day. We've learned about each other's worlds and ways of thinking. We've started a friendship that I hope will last for many years. Yes, Kethver said, also standing up. We will remember this day. The day we learned that a frog can eat a snake, and that small can be mighty. And we'll remember the day we learned that peace and harmony are possible, Jake said. That different species can live together without fighting. When we return to our world, Zethra said, we will tell our people about the amazing humans and their incredible world. We will tell them about the frogs that eat snakes and the tiny ants that are stronger than giants. And we'll tell our people about the beautiful crystal beings who showed us that peace and cooperation can work, Lisa said. This is just the beginning, Kethver said. We have so much more to learn from each other. The beginning of a beautiful friendship, Jake agreed. As the aliens prepared to leave, they were still glowing with excitement. Their crystal bodies sparkled with all the colors of the rainbow. Thank you for teaching us about your world, Valther said. We will never look at small creatures the same way again. Thank you for teaching us about peace, Jake said. We will never forget that cooperation is better than conflict. Until we meet again, Kethver said. Until we meet again, Jake replied. As the aliens left the meeting room, Jake smiled. He had started the day thinking he would just show some pictures of Earth's animals. Instead, he had helped start a friendship between two very different species. Dr. Lisa Hayes came over to stand beside him. That was amazing, she said. I've never seen aliens react like that before. I know, Jake said. When I told them about frogs eating snakes, I thought they might be a little surprised. I didn't expect them to be so shocked. It really changed how they think about everything, Lisa said. Their whole understanding of nature was based on big creatures protecting small creatures. Learning that small creatures could be powerful too was like learning that the sky could be green. Captain Davis joined them. Lieutenant Morrison, that was excellent work. You didn't just teach them about our animals. You helped them understand our whole way of thinking. Thank you, sir, Jake said. I just answered their questions honestly. Sometimes honesty is the best diplomacy, the captain sighed. You showed them that being different doesn't mean being enemies. Jake looked out the window at the stars. I keep thinking about what they said, that their world never changes. Everything stays the same for thousands of years. That must be very peaceful, Lisa said. Yes, but also limiting, Jake said. If nothing ever changes, how do you grow? How do you learn new things? Maybe that's what they'll learn from us, Captain Davis said. That change can be good. That challenges can make you stronger. And maybe we'll learn from them that peace is possible, Jake said. That different species really can live together without fighting. A few days later, Jake was in his quarters when he got a message. It was from Kethfir on the alien ship. Friend Jake, the message said in Kethfir's musical voice. We have been showing your videos to our people back home. They are very amazed by your frogs and snakes and tiny strong ants. Many of them want to come and see Earth for themselves. Jake smiled as he listened to the message. We also have news, Kethver continued. Our scientists have been studying our own world more carefully. We found something surprising. We do have small creatures that sometimes eat bigger creatures. We just never noticed before because we thought it was not important. Jake was excited to hear this. Maybe the two worlds were not so different after all. Thank you for teaching us to look at our world with new eyes, the message continued. We hope to see you soon when we visit Earth. We want to see these amazing frogs for ourselves. Jake recorded a message back. Dear Kethver and all our new friends, we are excited to hear that you are discovering new things about your own world. This shows that learning never stops, no matter how old or wise you are. We are preparing a visit to Earth for your people. We want to show you our forests and oceans and all the amazing creatures that live there. And yes, we will definitely show you some real frogs eating snakes. We are also excited to visit your world and learn about your peaceful way of life. Maybe together we can find ways to have both the excitement of change and the comfort of peace. Until we meet again, your friend Jake. Months later, Jake stood in a forest on Earth next to a small pond. With him were Kethver, Velther, and several other aliens. They were all watching the water very carefully. There, Jake said quietly, pointing to a large bullfrog sitting on a rock. That's what we're looking for. The aliens stared at the frog. It looked so small and harmless. Their crystal bodies were glowing with excitement. It's hard to believe that such a small creature can eat a snake, Velther whispered. Just wait, Jake said.